really, outside of the 4 or 5 minutes, how do you feel the team's really played in the first 2 games?
Well, I'm very disappointed in again our inability to finish the game the right way. I thought that Troy came out and they executed well, had a 14-play drive and an 8-play drive, and under duress, we sent a variety of pressures and some tight man-to-man coverage and things that had worked all day. They executed versus those same calls there in those last 2 drives. Disappointed that, again, we had opportunities to get off the field and keep them out of the end zone, and we didn't do it. Dropped interceptions and pass interference calls, 2 of those, and a late hit, and we lost leverage on 4th and 6 on a very simple, basic stick-out scheme by the number 2 receiver, and we just, again, lacked that. I don't know if it's killer instinct or whatever it is. Whatever it is, it's the same result. You can describe it a lot of different ways, but not disturbing or whatever, just makes you mad, and because we had our opportunities there, and but that being said, it's a young season through 2 games. There's a lot to like, and we got a lot to learn. We got plenty of things to get better at, and I got to clean up some tackling and clean up some coverage and some technique. Everybody has issues to different degrees, and I think our issues are correctable. We're continuing to develop our team and our chemistry and our different packages. And, I'm really excited about the group of guys that we have to coach. I think it's a group of guys that are competitive, they're coachable, they're intelligent, we're talented. We have some competitive depth at some positions and some that we've got to still develop. But our guys for the first 2 games felt like they had great preparation, came out with great intensity, focus, passion, toughness, all of that, through 2 games. Responded at halftime in 2 tight games, came out same way, with a great desire and focus to compete, and so that's expected, but at the same time it doesn't always happen, and we've had that, and those are things that you feel like you can build on, and you'll continue to grow and improve as the season goes on. As a result, this is a group of guys that care deeply for each other, and that want to do well, and that want to create their own identity. And so we'll see a variety of teams, schemes, skill sets as we go along throughout the year, a lot of different challenges. And moving forward, there's a lot to be hopeful for, as a coach.
Jalen has got a lot of playing time, performed well. How nice is it to have that confidence in him with being able to sit that role where the next game?
Well, I'd rather have Ben and Jalen, if you ask, but it is good. Jalen's worked hard. He's a good player. We have more other good players as well, and he's made the most of his opportunities through the first couple of games. He's worked hard for those opportunities, and he can do a variety of things, which you like that flexibility.
How do you compensate for not having a guy like Ben who plays so many snaps?
Well, again, you kind of, that's how we started our that's how we ended our meeting in the locker room after the game. Talking about leadership and a guy that has a ton of passion and intensity and a willingness to prepare and lead. And when you lose that, somebody's got to step up and fill the void. And when you don't, you're not as good. And doesn't have to be just one guy, but Ben commands a lot of respect in that locker room, and I think his teammates value what he brings to the table, and will more than step up, and collectively fill that void.
That was Ben has been coming up to him and didn't block him to play this week. Is he trying to convince you?
Who Ben? Yeah, he's backpedaling and shuffling in that boot. He would be fine probably to come out and play. He's got a high threshold for pain, and not that he's in a lot of pain. I didn't ever ask him, where he's at on the Richter scale, but he'll be fine. We'll be fine. I think it'll be good for him to rest. And again, I think we've got good enough players that to come out and have an opportunity to play well. To might be a few guys. I'm not acting like losing him is no big deal. He's our quarterback on our defense, and if Deshaun wasn't playing this week, regardless of whoever it is that you're playing, I think everybody would be like, oh, this guy's fun. What are we going to do? Who's it going to be? That's what I lay in my bed at night, and that's what I'm thinking. I feel good about the guys, but he's a big part of our success, and again, just emotionally, leadership, all of that.
You had interceptions from 4 different linebackers. Is there anything you're doing from a scheme standpoint that's giving them more?
I'm coaching them up so well. I'm just doing a great job coaching them. The 2-minute drill, I'm not doing a very good job coaching them. And the interceptions, they're doing a great job. I think they're improving in their knowledge and their experience and their underneath coverage. And then again, they've benefited from some tip balls as well. And and the quarterbacks, the one play, I think it was Christian, forced him to throw it in Dorian's belly there. They had a little screen play set up, and Christian's smoking off the edge, and you throw it away too. And then Jalen, had the tip ball. I think that was from Christian too, and so benefit from good defensive line play. And then I think you look at Kendall's. That was just a textbook, 4 into 3 deep zone coverage, and did a great job feeling the over route and sliding underneath it and relating to the route as the route moves. Great job there. And then who else picked one off? Is that 3? You said 4.
Bulwer in the first game.
Bulwer's was just awesome. And it was another textbook zone coverage where he just did exactly what, he practiced. And they ran the exact route that we practiced under that situation. And here it comes, and he did a great job. But we practice. You guys have been there. We start every practice with ball drills for the whole team. And so I think catching it is more natural than it probably was 3-4 years ago before we were doing that.
Talk about Ben being a quarterback position. Where does Christian's versatility fit in there? I mean, are you okay with?
He's probably the most versatile guy we have.
Are you okay when he goes over and plays offense?
I'm all for it. Yeah.
Something might go wrong.
Yeah. No, I don't ever really. I'm not a guy that worries about the unknowns that way. But I love it. I think it's great for him, good for us. I think it gives the opportunities when you throw him and Dexter with the other group of skill players that they have over there in some of those situations. I think it can really create some opportunities, for both obviously the players and for us. I think it makes it a little bit more difficult. One more thing to work on.
Was there anybody, when you went back and watched film, that maybe flashed that surprised you a little bit? Some of the guys that you were seeing maybe for the first time?
I think Kayvon Wallace has a chance to develop. He plays strong. Still doesn't know what he's doing yet, figuring some of those things out. But I don't know if he flashed, so to speak, but he did some really good things. He had a nice coverage. We're playing a man under concept, and they run a little out the same route that they got on 4th and 6 on Van. Kayvon covered it really well. Different coverage, different concept, but same route. Really covered it well. I think he has a chance to be a really good player if he continues to work and we give him those opportunities.
Coach, one thing Dabo mentioned was he was anxious to see what the vibe was going to be like in the locker room after the win. What were your emotions? Did you want to see what we're seeing out of the guys, their response, and what you've seen out of them in these first few days? I think they're going to follow our lead, and winning is hard. It's difficult, so you don't. I was stuck in a bad place for many years where I couldn't enjoy winning, and that's not what it should be about. So you got to have there's a delicate balance, a competitive balance with the appreciation of winning, and then what do we got to do? And when it's time to get things corrected and coached up, there's a place for that as well. But I'm not going to sit here and act like, we just, won the ACC championship or, we beat the Chicago Bears either. We've got a ton of things that we got to get better at. We should have done better. You hated, again, those last 5 minutes of the game, and it's bad. It's bad football. You got to get off the field. Our job on defense is to get off the field, period, regardless of the circumstances, and we didn't do that. So there's failure there that you just can't leave the locker room without pointing that out. But you fist bump them and tell them you appreciate them and congratulate them on winning and tell them it's time to go back to work. Season starts today. So I think I do appreciate that it is not a negative environment and where it's all about just winning and if you can't appreciate the winning, then you need to find something else to do. And they're gonna feed off of us. And if they're miserable in their own skin, they're gonna start hating to play the game of football. And so I think our job as coaches and as mentors and as leaders is to find the right ways to keep the right perspective. And we're not sugarcoating anything, I can promise you. And when it stinks, it stinks. When it's bad, it's bad. But winning is ultimately the goal. And then, correcting and coaching is all part of the process too.
Coach, I think Trey Lamar was in on that fourth down play in which they scored on the 66-yard run. Was that a situational thing, or did you just feel pretty confident in him after the Auburn?
He's part of that package, and Trey's going to be a great player. He's a really good player right now, and does what a lot of young guys do. Just took his eyes off that target just for a second, and Trey's doing very, very well, and that's one of those little small mistakes that he won't make again if he's in the same situation. I'm very confident in that.
All set? Thanks, Coach.
Yep. You got it. Yep.